Two. What is up, guys? Today we are back with Scott Talks. I'm Scott, and today we have a very special guest. I'm gonna let the special guest introduce himself. Special guest.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Midnight Menace, the slick talker, beat walker, stalker. You know the vibes. Shout out Scott.
Yes, sir. And today, this isn't anyone. What he didn't tell you guys, he is actually an artist as well as a DJ, as well as a college student as well. I mean, he does it all. So thank you again for taking some time out of your day to be here. First off, you're from the DMV, but you go to school down in NOLA. How has that been? How is Dillard University, the illustrious Dillard University? How's that been? How's your first 2 years? Tell us about it.
Well, first I want to say I'm thankful for the opportunity to be on such a great great platform. I love what you're doing. With your podcast is fire. I listen to whenever I can. But like you said, I mean, I am a current sophomore, and I didn't really start making music until I got down here. So that's one thing I will give Dillard, or really any college, it gives you the opportunity to branch out and meet a bunch of different people. And some of those friends that you make can be, very good motivators and give you the confidence to do different things that you didn't have, the confidence to do before. So like shout out, my brother TC or Chris from Houston. He was the main one that, allowed me to push my music, but also kept me focused with, still DJing, still making sure my school is right, making sure everything is good. He's always my right-hand man pretty much. It was a real different experience, of course, to start rapping on my college campus because back the DMV isn't really the best. I hate to say it like this, take down the home team, but it's not the best place for people to blow up when it comes to music. So it's well, at least for the type of music that I make, because I know there are some people, of course, that blew up in the DMV. They can stay there and they can still keep doing what they're doing, but when it comes to most people that make music, they end up from Maryland. They end up going to other places, blowing up there, and then coming back home. So I mean, you can go down the list with a bunch of different rappers like IDK, Wale, Young Manny. He went out to LA and did his stuff there. Logic. There's a bunch of Rico Nasty. There's a bunch of different rappers that all left, and they came back and blew up in other places. And that's what I wanted to do. But more on the school topic, stuff got real hard, especially with COVID, in mind, because it really stopped me right in my tracks just before I got the chance to really do what I wanted to do with music. But I was okay with that because without COVID, the two of my most successful things they wouldn't have happened. The two of my most successful songs that I have out were the only two. But I would have had the opportunity that I did if it wasn't for COVID. But school wise, I like the distance learning a little bit more because it gave me the opportunity to do a bunch of different things, like between my music, DJing, just practicing different things and expand. So yeah.
Definitely. And with that being said, you do have 2 songs out. And I see that you're also a more lyrical artist versus some people kind of, mumble rap. And again, nothing wrong with those artists, but you actually are more lyrical. And so with you being more lyrical, where does that come from? What does inspire you to be more of a lyrical artist versus kind of like a hoo-ha, hoorah type of artist?
Yeah. So really, my inspiration is just my love for music. Like really, like my pops, he was a DJ. My dad, he was a DJ in the 90s and stuff. And when I was a kid, that was all he was listening to was like older hip hop and stuff like that. So I'd be in the car, listening, bobbing my head and stuff in the backseat, not really knowing the music, but I was always listening to it. So by the time when I got my own phone and everything, and I was really venturing out to different types of music at the time, and when we were still in elementary school and middle school, there wasn't a lot of mumble. So people were still somewhat rapping. That was really the main thing. But then when we got to around towards the beginning of middle school, when we got to like high school, so around 2012 to about 2017, that was when stuff got, a little bit mixed up and people were experiencing different things with hip hop. So I was still listening to, to the older stuff then, but I didn't know how to go about it. So even when I was back home, still listening to music and stuff, more lyrical things, when I would try and release something back home, it would make no traction, even if it was something small on SoundCloud. And I knew one thing that, like I said, to bring it back, I know one thing that Chris always said was, he predicted kind of that lyrics will come back in about 2 years. He said that to me the very first time I had a conversation with him. He was like, I know, what's popping right now, there's still a lot of mumble stuff, a lot of like get hype stuff. But so there's still a niche crowd of people that are looking for lyrics. And eventually in 2 years, there's going to be certain artists that blow up through that. So he was like, you should just keep doing what you're doing and, the truth will prevail. But that's really where I get my inspiration from, just just a lot of older artists like Nas, Fabulous, a bunch of different older rappers and stuff like that. Yeah.
Definitely. And going back to Chris, TC, you guys have some collaborations. You guys have worked together in the past, and also you spent some time in Houston. What was that like, going to a different city and being able to work in there? How was that experience for you?
Man, Houston that's an experience. It became what what was so funny was, we used to always play around, I'll be like, man, forget Houston, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. He'll be like, man, forget Maryland, forget PG and everything. But then when I went out there, my perspective of it completely changed. Houston is like my number two most listened to listens in like a city, and I've only been to Houston 4 times. Houston, they show constant love and constant support 24/7. The studios, the fashion, the music, everything out there. I love Houston. I've only been there with 3 or 4 times, but I love it, and it was a good experience. Shout out, all the people that I met down in White Whale, Liam, all the different people that I met since in my experiences down there. But yeah, I love Houston. That experience was very good, and I can't wait to go back over the summer.
Definitely, that's dope right there. And then also recently too, you were in a competition at your school for upcoming MCs. How was that experience? Like, really performing all that in front of people? How was that? How did that feel? Like, was it a rush? Was it scary? What did that feel like?
So my first, that was only, I think, my third or fourth time performing, because like I said, I just started rapping, and I just really put out a song over quarantine in June or July, somewhere around there. So I mean, that was really my first performance, because this was my first time really back down here. The first semester sophomore year was real laid back, because people didn't know what college life is going to be like with COVID. But after people got comfortable this semester, they've been having different events and different things like that around the city in New Orleans. And I took advantage of that. So I went to the Diligent Got Talent was one of the things that that came up, and I was like, okay, let me try and take it. So really, it was a little different, because the dude who hosted it is PJ Morton. He's an R&B and gospel singer. So I was thinking, I'm a rapper. I don't know if they really gonna like me like that. He may choose singers, et cetera, et cetera. But I ended up. I mean, I loved the experience. It was very good to actually be in like a formal type of show, because everything else I did was kind of on the side. People that know that I make music, like I just did a performance last weekend. Like at some pop-up 420 club event, and it was so last minute. Like me and keep bringing them up, but like I said, that's my brother. Me and TC, we were at some party, and this dude texted him and was like, "Are you in Menace available? We need y'all to perform like right now." So we drove there, like 15 minutes, performed, and then came back to the party. But it was lit. But I mean, it was, I think, 40 people came out and tried out for the PJ Morton thing, the talent showcase. 10 people moved on. I was one of the 10 that got selected. Then it was a qualifying round, so 5 people moved on. I made the qualifying round, and then I placed third. So I didn't, but I did make some connects. Like there's a rapper down here, his name is Pell. Not a lot of people have heard of him, but he's big in the city, and he said he wanted to work with me. So that's what I'm looking forward to next. Just more opportunities coming. But I did enjoy the talent show. It was a new experience. I loved it.
That's dope right there. 30 out of 40 people, and you just getting started. That really amazing. And like you said, looking out for opportunities, stuff like that. I think that's something that's something that's going to separate you from a lot of other people that you want to work, you want to keep getting better. That definitely is a good quality to have. And music just in general, again, like you said, you've been a DJ, so you've been around music your whole life. Yeah. What for you is something that you look for that makes a song good? Like, is it the beat, is it the lyrics? What for you makes a good song?
So I really think it's 2 things. So it's really just so the beat is important. That's very important, because that's the very first thing people are gonna hear. They need to hear something that's gonna catch them. If the beat isn't good, you can be rapping your behind off, but if the beat is trash, people not gonna cut it off because the beat is trash. Nobody wants to hear that over and over. But and then there's also, I don't ever want to be considered like, or in the cone of like a lyrical, spiritual, like, or lyrical miracle rapper, because a lot of those people who get put in that cone, they don't really rap about anything. Like they just talk. And most of the time, well, in the 2 songs I have out, and I have more stuff coming very, very soon. But the one thing I do have out now, like, make me feel is a story, and been through is me talking about me, like what I've been through, exactly what, how I've overcome the different things that I'm going through in my life, et cetera, et cetera. So, it's, so I would say it's a tie between the great beat and then having, what's the word? having substance in your lyrics, because you can just be rapping about anything, you know.
Okay. Okay. And
You
for
know.
the writing process for you, how's it go? Do you kind of sometimes just have an idea and then you put it down to your pencil or paper, or is it just one day you're just in that zone and you say, okay, I'm making this today. This is what I think is on my mind. Da, da, da. What is that kind of process like?
So my writing process, I would say is very like it's very specific and weird, because like I can only write at night. Like during the day like that, I cannot write during the day. I'm terrible because I like to wait until I have everything else in the day done with. So usually like how I may get up, go to class, et cetera, eat, chill with my girlfriend, all that, blase blase. But by the time when everything is done, and like that's if I'm with her, like if she's in the shower or something, that's when I write the best. Or when after I get off the game, with my peoples, that's when like, then I can write and take my time to do that. But it takes, and it comes in waves. Like I can only like 1 week I'll have a whole week of writing just great stuff, like great stuff. And then the next week myself will be like, I cannot, like it's not even writer's block. It's just I try and put it down, but then I read it back. I'm like, it's terrible. Like what was I doing? So but that was really where I got my name from, Midnight Menace, because I write late, and that was the best. That's when I write best, at least to me. But and then my writing process, some things I scrap, some things I keep. But one thing that I started working for me was I would write for, well, when people do freestyles, usually they're written and then they have to remember it. So I would write two freestyle beats and then lay them on another beat that I would find that I could use. So I think I wrote Been Through to a completely different beat, and then I laid it on top of that beat because it still worked and I could manipulate it where it would sound good. But yeah, make me feel I know I did that myself. Like I had to write to that beat. But yeah, so that's usually how my writing process is. It's very, very complicated, very flicking backwards, but it works for me. So.
Okay. Okay. That's dope. And like you said, so is that where the name came from? Is that
Yeah,
is
make
that
that
the origin?
it's
Okay.
so it's a mix. So really what happened was I was in so the name came up when I was a freshman, and it's just I've always had it in my notes and I just never knew what I would use it for. So originally I had a YouTube, like a gaming channel, and I called it like the Midnight Menace down because all my peoples we would be on after dark. We be playing like GTA or something like that. That was like the clan I used in GTA. But the name actually came from a Wu-Tang name generator. Like I was using everybody's because that's how, like, I think that's how Donald Glover guys childish game. I think that's where he got his from. So I was in science class, Miss Thompson's class with Nixon. I said his name and made me feel Dan, shout out Big Dan. Kobe, who else? I think Nate was in that class, Tola, and then Tola was in that class. It was all five of us. So we were sitting and we were just putting our names in. And I think Dan's name, I put Dan's name in. His was like Midnight something, and Tola's name was like something Menace. So I just put Midnight Menace because I was like, I'm gonna use that. I like that. So yeah.
Okay. And the
Yeah.
name you just brought up, so they were actually in your Make Me Feel video. How did that feel to, first off, be able to have your first like official kind of video, and then not only that, but then have people that you actually know in it? Like, how was that for you? How was that experience? How was the filming? How does that all go down for people who don't know like how videos work? Explain that process too.
So filming, I didn't realize how long it actually was, because I think I did the Make Me Feel video, and then like a month later I did the city video. So the city video, that one took I think 2 days. So I realized, after by then I knew what it was. But from back to Make Me Feel, it was good to have, the people that I brought up in the song there with me, because they show I never have a reason to like cap or lie in my rap, because I'll never be the type of person to talk about, I'll shoot this, I'm selling this, doing all this other stuff, because that's not me. So but I can tell a story about me and my people's having a session, because that's what we do. So like it was just real good to have, all my brothers in a video like that. I could bring them all together, especially during the time too, because it was COVID. And I had to beg my mom to try and let me out the house so I can do the video and everything. But it was, it was good though. It was so good to see them again, because but I think that was my first time out the house since I went back home. So when we went home in May, no, we went home in March. I didn't leave the house until the end of June when I shot the video, and then I left to go to Houston again in July, at the end of July. So it was like that was my very first time out the house, and it was just good seeing them again. I didn't have a haircut for that video because my mom didn't want me to go to the barbershop. Nothing. I was down bad, but it was it was good though. I was just good to see my people. It was good to glad everybody was feeling the song and the video went up. So that was perfect. You know, I was glad I got to get all my peoples in that video. So for real, that meant a lot. Shout out all them too, Nixon, Von Hash, Bash, Savion, bro, everybody that was in that job, for real. Yeah.
Definitely. And now that I guess leads us to this question: what can we expect next? What maybe not you don't have to leak anything right now, but what
Yeah.
can we expect in the future? You know, next 6 months, next year, next few years from Midnight Menace. What can we expect to see?
Well, I can tell you this. Within the next month, I do have an EP that's supposed to be dropping with Mac Infinity. I don't know if a lot of people may not know who he is, but he's a big artist at Dillard in Kansas City and in New Orleans. A lot of people know him and love him. He's had stuff on lock here at Dillard for almost 3 years now. He's about to be a senior next year. So they said right when he came in, he made a song like for Dillard that was huge, and so he's had it on lock. Um, I have a song coming out with Tiana Boston. She's a familiar name as well. You know, she's another artist here at Dillard. She's been on like The Voice or something. I think she made it to the qualifying round. And what's called? I have a song coming out with her. I have a song coming out with this dude named NL. Okay, hold on. I have a song coming out with another dude named NLS Huncho. He's another rapper from down here. So that one thing I would say, like I said, this semester has been so good to me because I've just been linking with a bunch of different artists, and that talent show brought me a bunch of exposure, and now a bunch of people just coming to work with me. Like a lot of people, I got videographers, photographers, people who make music, singers, dancers, anything that anybody would need as an artist. So it's beautiful to just have everybody come out and do that one thing. But back to the question, 1 month you can expect that from me. Let's say by the end of I'm actually staying down here in New Orleans for over the summer. I got an internship somewhere, so I'm gonna end up staying down here, and I'm going to be going back and forth to the studio probably every week because it's a paid internship and I don't have any bills or anything like that to pay for. I'm staying at one of my cousin's house. So it's nothing. So I'm just going to be stacking up money. And with that, I'll probably be spending a lot of studio time. So with that being said, 9 times out of 10, I'm probably going to end up having some type of project or something drop just before I get back. And then in a year from today, I would want to say that I just want to have one big album out. It's as simple as that because, like I said, I've been rapping since I was supposed to have probably the process for recording and getting stuff together, and then like because of the way I write, it really throws me off because some months I'll feel one way, some months I feel another way, and I'll be like, okay, I'm ready to drop, and I'll be like, nah, I need more stuff. I'm ready to drop. I'm like my worst critic. So sometimes I take too much time and trying to be a perfectionist on different things, but so probably in a year from now, I'll say I just want one successful album, one grand performance, and hopefully everything just works out for me. So, and that's all you can do is pray. That's it. That's all you can do. So, yeah.
No, I definitely appreciate you being here today, sharing that creative process. Because again, a lot of people don't understand what goes on behind the scenes. But with that being said, tell us where can we expect to find your music? Where can we stream it? And how can they follow you and interact with you on your socials? So they can, get more connected to you.
All right. Y'all can hit me on Twitter Twitter at DJ Brown Hornet. Because I still have to keep my DJ name. I do parties, so if you're in the Orleans, but DJ Brown Hornet on Twitter, and then on Instagram, I'm Midnight Menace 301. But you can also search up DJ Brown Hornet, and it should come up. Music wise, I'm on all platforms, every single thing that you can think of, except one. Been Through is not on SoundCloud, but it's on YouTube. So you can get it anywhere else because I tried to upload it and this other dude used the beat. The song was terrible too, but it's okay. It is what it is. But everything else is everywhere else. You can get at me. And then just to stay on the lookout, follow me on my socials. That's it. But I appreciate the opportunity, Scott, for real. I'm loving what you're doing with your podcast.
I appreciate you for coming here and, wanting to be here. That's love for real. I appreciate you. And for my listeners who are in NOLA, definitely be on the lookout for the next time you perform. Because we definitely want to be able to see that. We just wish you the best. And yeah, appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it.
And I've been here with Midnight Menace, aka Aaron, Dillard student. Definitely guys stay on the lookout for him. He's doing some dope stuff with the art. And again, if you guys need a DJ for any of your events, please hit him up. He does all different types of events. Get with him. All right. And that will be Scott Talks.